Here's why you play Vexana, the shimmer of hope in the mid lane. First off, she possesses strong crowd control abilities. She has high burst damage potential, allowing her to quickly eliminate key targets. She is incredibly versatile and excels in both team fights and 1v1 duels. However, Vexana is quite skill dependent and has low mobility, making her susceptible to ganks and burst damage. Vexana's passive ability, Nether Touch, inflicts a Nether Curse on enemies hit by her and the Eternal Guard, which is her ult. The curse lasts for 5 seconds and causes the affected enemy to explode upon death, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies. This helps her to deal extra damage in team fights and clear the waves quickly. You should focus on marking multiple enemies in team fights to maximize your passive damage output. Vexana's first skill, Deathly Grasp, unleashes a ghostly hand in a designated direction, dealing magic damage to enemies it passes through. The projectile stops upon hitting an enemy hero, terrifying and knocking them back slightly, then exploding, dealing additional magic damage to nearby enemies and terrifying them for 1 second. You should use Deathly Grasp to initiate fights or disrupt enemy positioning, setting up your combo for maximum damage. Vexana's second skill, Cursed Blast, marks the target area with the power of the undead, striking it after a short delay and dealing significant magic damage to enemies hit. This skill is great for zoning and burst damage. You should combine Cursed Blast with your other skills to ensure enemies stay within the damage zone, maximizing its effectiveness. Vexana's ultimate skill, Eternal Guard, summons an Eternal Guard at the target location, dealing magic damage to enemies hit and knocking them airborne for a short duration. The Eternal Guard then joins Vexana in battle for 15 seconds, attacking enemies and dealing magic damage based on Vexana's total magic power and a percentage of the target's max HP. A great tip for Eternal Guard is to prioritize key targets to turn the tide of team fights by creating a powerful ally that can deal significant damage while also soaking up damage for your team. A basic skill combo is to use skill 1 into skill 2, and all-out combo is to use skill 1 into skill 2 into ultimate. Moving on to builds, I suggest building Arcane Boots, Lightning Truncheon, Blood Wings, Genius Wand, Holy Crystal, and Divine Glaive. These are the emblems that go along with this build. As per usual, I suggest more experienced players to build items depending on the enemy team composition instead of using a pre-built setup to maximize your win rate. As for battle spells, Flicker is an excellent choice for additional mobility and escape, allowing you to reposition quickly in fights or escape dangerous situations. Alternatively, Flame Shot can also be effective, providing extra burst damage and a tool to finish off fleeing opponents or push them away. You should upgrade skill 2 at level 1 and prioritize upgrading skill 2 with skill 1 as backup. Upgrade the ultimate whenever it is available. Moving on to tips and tricks. Vexana excels at controlling the battlefield and dealing significant burst damage. Her crowd control abilities make her a threat to any squishy target, and her ultimate can turn the tide of a team fight by summoning a powerful Eternal Guard. Positioning is crucial for Vexana. Stay at a safe distance and use her long-range skills to poke and control enemies. Focus on marking as many enemies as possible with your passive to maximize damage output in team fights. Use your skills strategically to zone enemies and force them to unfavorable positions. Vexana's low mobility makes her vulnerable to ganks, so always be aware of your surroundings and keep an eye on the minimap to avoid getting caught out of position. Effective use of her ultimate can change the outcome of fights. Target key enemies with Eternal Guard to create an ally that can tank or deal damage for your team. Communicate with your teammates to coordinate initiations and follow-ups if possible, ensuring that your crowd control and burst damage have maximum impact. By mastering Vexana's skills and playstyle, you can easily dominate the mid lane, control team fights, and lead your team to victory with her powerful abilities and strategic presence on the battlefield.